Bueno, señores, algo se está gestando en este momento en California. Aparentemente el presidente va a enviar sí o sí la Guardia Nacional de los Estados Unidos para traer la paz en este estado. El Departamento de Justicia advierte a los funcionarios de California que se retiren o se enfrentan a un proceso judicial tras la amenaza de arrestar a los agentes del ICE. El fiscal general adjunto Todd Blanche, la mano derecha del presidente Donald Trump con el tema de la abogacía, le advirtió al gobernador Gavin Newsom y a la representante Bruja Pelosi y a otros funcionarios estatales que no interfieran con los agentes federales. El fiscal general adjunto de los Estados Unidos, Todd Blanche, aquí les dejo una foto, emitió el jueves una carta formal a los principales funcionarios de California advirtiéndoles contra cualquier intento de arrestar o impedir que los agentes del orden federal hagan cumplir las leyes de inmigración. La carta dirigida al gobernador Gavin Newsom, al fiscal general estatal Rob Bonta y a la representante Nancy Pelosi, demócrata por California, y al fiscal del distrito de San Francisco, enfatizó que los agentes y oficiales federales están cumpliendo con sus deberes legales y que cualquier interferencia de funcionarios estatales o locales es ilegal o inútil. Esta es la carta que publicó el abogado del presidente Donald Trump el día de ayer, que ya tiene 1.8 millones de visualizaciones, y él publicó lo siguiente: los políticos de California quieren arrestar a agentes federales por hacer cumplir la ley. Acabamos de enviarle una carta a todos estos funcionarios. Retírense o se enfrentarán a un proceso judicial. Nadie amenaza a nuestros agentes. Nadie nos impedirá que hagamos que Estados Unidos vuelva a ser seguro. Esta fue la carta escrita ayer 23 de octubre. Vamos a leerla. Dice así: agentes, oficiales y fiscales federales trabajan incansablemente a diario para impulsar la misión de seguridad pública establecida por el presidente Donald Trump y la fiscal Bondi. A pesar de no recibir remuneración durante el actual cierre gubernamental, los agentes y oficiales federales de los 4 distritos federales de California continúan exponiéndose a riesgos para garantizar la seguridad de los estadounidenses. En lugar de apoyar y colaborar con los profesionales de la fuerza del orden federales, políticos californianos como la representante Nancy Pelosi y la fiscal del distrito de San Francisco, Brooke, le han pedido a los agentes del orden estatales y locales que arresten a los agentes y oficiales federales por hacer cumplir las leyes federales promulgadas por el Congreso de Estados Unidos, incluidas las leyes federales de inmigración. El Departamento de Justicia considera ilegal e inútil cualquier arresto de agentes y oficiales federales en el ejercicio de sus funciones oficiales. Numerosas leyes prohíben interferir y obstaculizar las operaciones de inmigración y otras fuerzas del orden. Ahí están ciertas legislaciones que el abogado plasmó, Todd Blanche. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que está pasando? Parece que el gobernador de California, Gavin Newsom, a la mano con Nancy Pelosi, le dijeron a los policías de California que tienen autorización para arrestar a un agente de inmigración. ¿Puedes creerlo? La policía de California está dispuesta o se le instruyó para que arresten a los funcionarios de inmigración. Todo esto tiene que ver, señores, a que últimamente ha habido tantos accidentes de camiones de 18 ruedas manejadas por inmigrantes ilegales con licencias emitidas en California, que no sabemos si están comprando las licencias. Por ejemplo, esta semana 3 personas fallecieron y al menos 4 resultaron heridas después de que, según las autoridades, un semirremolque conducido por un inmigrante ilegal de la India se estrellara contra varios vehículos. Este inmigrante ilegal entró sin autorización a Estados Unidos por la frontera sur en 2022 y fue liberado gracias a un programa de la administración Biden, según el Departamento de Justicia. Entonces, estamos viendo en este momento que varios inmigrantes ilegales están conduciendo camiones de 18 ruedas, y esto está preocupando a las autoridades federales de los Estados Unidos. Sí, señores, la fiscal Pam Bondi acaba de ordenarle a Nancy Pelosi que pregunte sus correos electrónicos tras ordenar a ICE que revise sus correos electrónicos. Ellos están obstaculizando una investigación y la vamos a acusar. Si creen que no lo haré, no me conocen, dice Pamela Bondi.
You cannot disclose the identity of a federal agent, where they live, anything that could harm them. Pritzker, same ballgame with him. And, you know, Pelosi got a letter today from Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. So did Brooke Jenkins, that DA in San Francisco. We told them, preserve your emails, preserve everything you have on this topic, because if you are telling people to arrest our ICE officers, our federal agents, you cannot do that. You're impeding an investigation, and we will charge them if they think they have not met me, because we will charge them if they are violating the law. We will protect our federal agents. They're out there working nonstop, as you're showing right now during a shutdown. These people are out there working to keep Californians safe, yet you've got Pelosi out there saying to obstruct their investigation. You can't do it, and we're going to investigate her now, as well as that DA.
Entonces, si Pamela Bondi dice que promete arrestar a las personas que están obstaculizando la justicia, ella debería comenzar a revisar el caso de Letitia James, porque sabemos que Letitia se quiere salir con la suya en los próximos meses presentando una moción para desestimar el caso, señores. No es un secreto que Nancy Pelosi se está volviendo loca. Esto pasó la semana pasada, cuando un periodista le preguntó a Nancy si ella toma la responsabilidad de los eventos que pasó el 6 de enero del 2021. Un reportero le preguntó lo siguiente: ¿por qué rechazaste a la Guardia Nacional el pasado 6 de enero? Nancy Pelosi le dijo: cállate, no rechacé a la Guardia Nacional. ¿Por qué estás aquí con argumentos republicanos como si fueras una periodista seria?
Congresswoman Pelosi, are you at all concerned that the new January 6th committee will find you liable for that day? Are you at all concerned about the new January 6th committee finding you liable for that day? Why did you refuse the National Guard on January 6th?
Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist?
The American people want to know. We still have questions. Thank you. January 6th. Why did you refuse the National Guard on January 6th?
Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist?
The American people want to know. We still have questions. Thank you.
Qué loca. Stephen Miller presenta cargo de conspiración sedicienta contra el gobernador de Illinois y otros demócratas si ordenan el arresto de agentes federales. Esto no solo aplica al gobernador de Illinois, aplica a cualquier funcionario estatal, funcionario local o cualquier persona que opere en un cargo oficial y conspire o participe en actividades que obstaculicen ilegalmente el cumplimiento de las funciones de las fuerzas del orden y federales. Hay en este momento obstrucción a la justicia, hay refugio para inmigrantes ilegales, hay obstrucción a la aplicación de las leyes de inmigración. Y a medida que se asciende a la escala de la conducta, obviamente se incurre a cargos de conspiración sediciosa. Todd Blanche estuvo en una entrevista de Fox News, dice así: el Departamento de Justicia de la administración Trump le ha emitido una carta formal a los funcionarios demócratas, incluido Nancy Pelosi y el gobernador de Illinois, instándole que mucho cuidado si arrestan a funcionarios de inmigración. Ahora, vamos a escuchar a continuación esta entrevista del abogado del presidente Donald Trump en Fox News, donde él habla sobre este tema. Los subtítulos te lo voy a poner en pantalla y un poco más lento para que lo puedas leer detenidamente lo que él dice. Mira esto.
No, we're saying that if you're an ICE agent and you do these things, we think you ought to be held accountable. And yet no one in Washington, no one above them, no supervisor, no inspector general is holding anybody accountable. There literally haven't been any suspensions or firings for the terrible things that they've done, literally grabbing people, tackling them when they're U.S. citizens and have done zero wrong.
Unbelievable. Democrats like Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker are pushing on their view to demonize ICE agents, taking his comments coming after Nancy Pelosi threatened to up the ante against ICE, saying, quote, Our state and local authorities may arrest federal agents if they break California law, and if they are convicted, the president cannot pardon them. We will not be intimidated by politically motivated fear tactics. Here to respond is Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. Deputy Attorney General, thanks so much for joining the program. Let's go specifically to Nancy Pelosi. Local agents, local cops cannot arrest federal agents, right?
And of course they can. And what the Congresswoman did yesterday, what the governor of Illinois said yesterday, does nothing but harm this country. You cannot touch federal agents when they're doing their job. And that's something that they know. It's something that we reminded them of last night, because if you do, you're committing a crime. And the amazing thing about what happened is yesterday, President Trump announced and formally launched the Homeland Security Task Force. This is, in our modern history, the single largest effort by law enforcement to combat narco-terrorists and to get the scourge and the drug dealers out of this country. In just 60 days, we've arrested over 3,200 drug dealers and either gotten them out of this country or put them in jail. On that same day, you have Pelosi, you have other congresswomen, you have a congressman from New York, and you have the governor of Illinois not praising that, not thanking President Trump, but saying that federal law enforcement agents should be arrested. That's the best example of the difference between what this administration is doing and what the Democrats want done. And it's sad, and I feel bad for our federal law enforcement and their families and their wives and their husbands and their children when their dad, when their mom goes to work every day, putting their life on their line, and they have governors and leaders in the Democrat Party suggesting they should be arrested.
He didn't
That's
just say
disgusting.
that, Todd. He didn't just talk about them being arrested. He said they were racially profiling. Let's watch that.
I think they ought to take the violent criminals and get them out of my state and get them out of the country. I absolutely believe that, but that's not what they're doing. They said they were going after the worst of the worst. We want the bad guys off the streets. What we don't want is for people to get racially profiled. That's what's happening right now. They're racially profiling people who are black and brown, and they're demanding their papers. Are you a U.S. citizen? Prove it. I don't think Americans should have to do that.
The people leading the force on the ground through Border Patrol right now, they're 51% Hispanic. Do you take umbrage with what he just said?
In a deep and meaningful way. Our law enforcement officers are not violating the Constitution and doing their job. And that governor, instead of talking on the news and making up stories about what he thinks is happening, should stand opposed. He should go out and go out for one night and see the work that these men and women are doing. And he'll learn and he'll understand that what they are doing is getting this scourge and the people that are here illegally out of this country. And look, this has happened in California already earlier this year. These false claims that our ICE agents, that our federal law enforcement officers are somehow racial profiling or doing the wrong thing in executing and doing their jobs. And courts have said that we're right and the Democrats are wrong. We're not doing that. And that's going to continue to happen for sure.
But you're also taking on the cartel. And there's all these legal pundits talking about these operations, but it's undeniable. The border is secure, and you guys are taking the threats out of the sea, right?
It's another example of the difference between what President Trump, Attorney General Bondi, and all of our law enforcement partners are doing, including the Secretary of War, and what the Democrats apparently want done. We are saying we're going to stop the flow of drugs that have been happening in this country for generations. We're going to get them out and we're going to stop them from coming in. The borders are closed, and that's what we're doing every day. And you would expect the leaders of this country to say, thank you, how can we help? And instead what you have is exactly the opposite. And it's something that we're going to continue to do. And it's something that the American people expect us to do. It's what President Trump said he would do. And it's what Attorney General Bondi, it's what I'm doing. It's what all the leaders in this administration are doing every day. And it's working. And we're not going to stop.
Yeah, I want to be on the side of the people that are killing the people that have killed all of our teens in the hundreds of thousands because of the fentanyl. I want to be on that side of history. Todd Blanche, thank you so much for joining the program.